Excited though.
Yes.
I almost even I guess I'll wait a few seconds before I start, but or we start, but I almost even wanted to go take the test.
I was gonna text you and be like, I think I'm gonna go take
bitch, if you rewatch it today? Or?
Yeah, I was rewatching. I was like, I should take the test.
See, you should have texted me because I was totally thinking the same thing.
I thought about it. Like, I had a job where they made us take it.
Mm-hmm. Every job I've ever had, I've had to take those.
But I didn't remember what they said I was. Like, I wasn't a part of the application. It was just the office manager made everybody take one to try to make us communicate with each other more effectively.
Right, exactly. It's supposed to be like a team. They use it as a team building or like shit like that, right?
That was the only place I've ever taken it, though, and it didn't help because nobody liked each other. But they did not.
Hey, Tam. All right, so.
Well, hey, to you.
I had to leave it up there until you saw it. Okay, so hey guys, this is all docked up. I'm Chris. That's VJ. That's VJ, and Penrose. He's on the road or something. Penrose just be living his best life, and clearly we just be in the way. So, but we love him so much, and he is here in spirit. And I'm actually kind of sad that he's not here because I know he was super excited about this. Like, I know he wants to talk about
I thought it'd be something that'd be right up his alley. So I'm a little sad too. I was curious to hear what his thoughts were.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, guys, hello, hi. We are doing the documentary HBO Max, if you guys want to see it. Persona, the dark truth about personality tests. First of all, how sinister. I mean, it's true. Like, we be right here. Like, no, but how
you make it sound way worse than it is.
No, okay, but because that's me, I'm dramatic. Okay, so like as I'm about to say, how sinister is the title of this documentary?
It is because I was fully expecting them to be like the personality test was used to like murder somebody. Like I was full on expecting some crazy shit. So I'm glad it wasn't quite as bad as my mind took it to a place.
Right.
I am you, you are me, because I was going to be very dramatic about it, and I thought it was about to be some shit. So I'm glad it wasn't.
I know. I was expecting like a cult or like something. Like I don't even know what I was expecting out of this, but I was just like, oh, interesting. Like let's see how sinister. I mean, and there are some like interesting like seedy things that have happened that around this test and the like in the minds of the people who have created these tests. So. Yeah, but you wanna jump into it? What the fuck we're talking about?
Yeah. So we open this and we just get like a montage of people taking what looks like a personality test. And so what we mean like in person, which we'll get into some specifics later, but what they mean personality tests, they're talking about that shit that you take. Well, what I haven't taken one for a job in a while, but that shit that they normally do for like retail, sales, customer, person-facing jobs, that type of shit. The one where you do an application and then you have to put in your resume and then they make you retype your resume because whatever. And then when you get done doing that,
because of like whatever. But like, let's pause talking about that really fast. At what year do we have to be in that when a computer asks us to upload some shit, it actually put that shit where the fuck it's supposed to be? What is the point of that? Like, just make me, honestly, I'd rather you just make me do it manually the first time than put me through mental turmoil, hoping that
I won't have to do
or having to go back and like put stuff where it's supposed to be. Like, it's super trash. Like, get it together, guys. Like, but
that's the thing. I think they know the software that they're using is shitty, so they make you upload the resume, but then they know that shit is not going to parse correctly, so you're still going to have to put it in. They know that shit's
true.
So why even bother? It's horrible. But that just tells you, they don't put any money into hiring anybody, whatever. So but what they do put their money into is these personality tests. So what appears on the surface to not really be judging your personality, because I can remember taking them and just thinking, this is supposed to see if I'm going to like snitch if somebody smokes weed in the break room. That's all I ever assumed it was, to make sure I wasn't going to steal and I wasn't going to like lie if I saw somebody else stealing. I assumed that was what it was. But it turns out that that's what those ones where it's a spectrum and it's like strongly agree, agreed, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. That's
strongly shit. Again, deceiving tactics here. Like, so like, what if I'm a person that don't strongly feel about anything? Like, what if I'm just like, it's either yes or no? Like, it's not like hella yes or hell no. Like, what if I'm a person that just lives in the middle? Like, and I feel like strongly agree gets a little aggressive. So to strongly disagree, like, I think that gets very aggressive, and that's not really my personality. Like,
yeah, and the question, and I see, that's the thing, and I think people try to kind of like trick it, and it's hard because the questions are not definitive, right? So it's kind of like, okay, in my real life, I probably would strongly disagree with this, like,
but because I'm trying to get a job, right?
Right, but I'm trying to get a job, so now I have to. Do I strongly agree, or do I tell you I just agree, or do I just say that I'm neutral and I don't have an opinion? Like, what do you?
So, but then when you do that, right, what are you doing? You're basically setting yourself up in the work environment to be this person that you answered on the fucking personality test. And so now you can't really have any off days because you said on your personality test that's not how you fucking roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, so okay. Like, it's like you're damned if you go in and answer human, and then you're damned if you answer the way they want you to answer, because now you're setting yourself up for failure, or at least unhappiness in the workplace, possibly.
Yeah, which is kind of where this goes in many avenues, right? So we who do we meet first? Frank James. So we meet a YouTuber. And so we meet him in like 2014, January 1st, when he is doing his very first YouTube, and he tells people that he has done a Myers-Briggs personality test. Now, that is the most recognizable personality test known to man. If you have taken one, this is usually the one that you have taken. Yeah.
Basically. It houses 16 different personality types. It's 8 letters that can all be changed into different types, like these different 16 types, right? So there's 4 basic categories in the Myers-Briggs, right? So it's introvert or extrovert. There is no in between, because people like to say, like, it is very like decisive. So you can't say, oh, you know, I'm a what's that thing that people say that they are, and it's like in the middle. I'm a
bird or something.
Yeah, like that's not that here. There is no middle. Like, it's either you are or you aren't. You're either the life of the party, or you don't want to leave your house. Like, basically, that's basically what it is. Then you get those are I and then E, right? And then you get the N and the S, and this is for innovate or intuitive, and then sensing. So that kind of means what? What does that mean? What are the differences between that? Like,
I think the intuitive means that you're one of those people where it's a gut reaction for you. You kind of go with your gut about things, and sensing is more where you are not a gut person with decisions. You kind of feed into the energy of people around you, per se. And like, you're not a gut. You right. Kind of sense things out and then make a decision. You don't really go with a gut decision.
And I think that's interesting, because I feel like when they identify themselves as one of the personalities that has S in it, I feel like it's important to know that I don't think sensing has anything to do with emotion. I think that's the intuitive part, right? Like, and so I think people also misdiagnose themselves because I don't. But anyway, that's not right.
The third one is feeling versus thinking. That's pretty self-explanatory. We'll say those are the head versus heart people.
Yeah.
And in the last
actually thinking about what's like using your brain or using your heart. Like, that's the best way I could think of it, right? Like,
yeah. And then the last one is judging or perceiving, which this one is always weird to me because, which we'll talk more about her, but one of the women that created the Myers-Briggs test, she has a quote in this where she says that she thinks judging is the way that you look at yourself. and then the perceiving should be the way that you look at other people. It shouldn't. So that kind. So it.
So though that category
And
doesn't
weird.
really make sense.
Yeah, it's like by
You
her
could be
own
both.
definition, it seems kind of strange that you're putting those two things against each other. If one,
Yes.
so does one mean that I am critical of myself, and other means I'm critical of people? Like I'm not really.
Oh,
Sure.
I was okay with the breakdown of the like the categories until she said that statement. Then I was like, well, so then somebody could be an INFJP, like, right?
Like,
like,
so, yeah,
aren't we
like, what
all
are you saying?
JPs? We would all be JPs at that point, then, right? Like,
Yeah, everybody. So what they do basically is you have these categories, and they push together 4 of the letters. So you could be any combination of those 8 traits, one from each side, though.
You could be an ISFP, which would be an introvert, sensing, feeling, and perceptive person. You could be an ENFJ, which is an extrovert, intuitive, feeling, and judging.
And it's either an INFJ or an E. I think it's INFJ that is the most rare.
That's the most rare, right?
Which I don't get why that's the most rare.
Bitch, I'm over here looking like, where is the unicorn?
What makes that so special? But okay.
And so INFJ would be an introvert, a person that's an introvert, but they're intuitive, and they think with their heart, and then they are judgmental of themselves. That's not like a lot of niggas I know. Like,
to me, that just sounds like somebody that's shy and overthinks. Like, it sounds like a shy person who overthinks. I don't know. I don't think that's uncommon. I think somebody's lying.
I don't understand.
I think people are taking Myers-Briggs and not telling the truth, but which probably is, is a good thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So we meet a lady whose name I can't. Merve Emery. Merve Emery. I'm not even sure. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. They don't say her name in this, and I don't know. So she is the author of a book called The Personality Brokers, and basically she kind of gives an in-depth look at the people who created Myers-Briggs, and kind of what that whole thing was about, their backstory, history. How do we get to this part where we're basically selling personality tests to corporations to deny people jobs? So how do we get here is what the book is about.
Because that's essentially what they're doing. A test that started out as something that was even just examining one person's personality went to something that got perverted, and it's not even really about it's not and I think that the purpose of Catherine Isabel's fucking like point of this is for people to be more intuitive and understanding of themselves, and jobs and corporations are using these tests to decide who can and cannot do a job. So basically, like, if you want to be a head coach and you've always wanted to be a head coach, but you take this test and it tells you that tells them that you're an introvert, they're going to be like, well, how are you going to coach if you're just scared to talk to people? And even though like that's your fucking passion, and you know that like out of all things that you can do, you can fucking coach, because you took that test and it told them that you're less likely to be able to be able to have a meaningful conversation with someone who's angry or upset, stuff like that. And then if you answer negatively in their eyes, they don't see you fit for the job, and you never coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So some backstory. The test is created by Isabel and Catherine. Isabel is the daughter here in this duo. Catherine is her mom. Basically, Catherine raised this girl to be like a guinea pig, essentially. Like, she had 3 kids. Yeah, Isabel's the only one that survives past infancy. And so she has like a whole room set up talking about his cosmic lab baby training, like some hippy dippy outer space shit.
Yeah, cosmic lab of baby training is what she said it was. Like, bitch, first of all, you on the ground. Like, where's the cosmics?
This is where you're not in the space, girl, first off. And why training the baby to do what? To be a baby? Like, what is
to crawl and walk and talk, like things that babies just be doing eventually.
Don't even we all listen. I'm an adult. You're an adult. You have kids. You have kids that walk and talk and function. Did you have a cosmic baby lab?
I did not corner off a space in my house to train
Do you
these
have like
niggas how to do these things.
Mill or some shit? Like
I didn't. I just had a potty and Disney Junior. Like I did no more training than that, you guys. I don't know.
God bless her. She was born in the wrong time because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse would have fixed a lot of this.
Nick, do you hear what I'm saying? Hot dog, hot dog, hot Disney dog. You hear it? Listen,
that was a boss would have had her. It was. I don't know.
It really was.
Was Mickey was out here giving us all the hits.
He really was like all the hits. You hear me?
All of it.
All the mouse tools. Listen,
they were ready. I'm not mad at him.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so and I think it's important to say Catherine is more so like we said, she's the mom, but she's more of like the foundation base when we're talking about what the test has been like commonly known and used at. This is something that Isabel has basically built from her mother's research. This is after she leaves her and everything. Like, so do you want to talk about that part? How she thought her mother was fucking nuts, and once she could get the fuck away, she got away. And the only reason she came back is because she saw the opportunity to make money.
Yeah, so there's a famous psychologist. So anybody that's taken any type of psychology class has probably heard of Carl Jung. Yeah. So he basically comes out with a new book in 1923 called Psychological Types, which is 1923 is a great indicator of how old this shit is.
And bullshit.
Bullshit it is. Because even though you learn about Carl Jung in your psychology classes, nobody's telling you to apply any of that to anything. That's like
that is not practical.
Like nobody's telling you to practically apply Freud to your life. Like
it's just a story they gotta tell you, like to tell you how far we've come. Like
they gotta give you some history, so they put that in there. But please don't apply that to anything. It's just some shit that happened back in the day.
Right. Look how far we've come. Like,
yeah, that's basically what it is. Look what we're doing now. We're so much more advanced. But this was Catherine's like 2 a.m. jam. She read it.
After Isabel left, nigga, this was her true crime, nigga. Like this was her fucking unsolved mysteries. Like
Isabel went to college, and Catherine was like, "So what else can I get into?" And she bought this book and got it shipped overseas, and she read it, and she was like, she called Isabel or sent her a parakeet or pigeon or whatever. Sent her a letter, a telegram.
Hogwarts owl, right?
Yeah, whatever the fuck she sent her, I don't know. Whatever the fuck they were sending in 1923, she sent it to her and was like, "Hey, you remember all that time I treated you like a lab rat and did all them experiments and shit or whatever, and now you don't really fuck with me. So I decided I'm gonna burn all that. Fuck all that you went through. I'm gonna start over, and I'm on some new shit. And now I'm like a disciple of like Carl Jung, and I'm gonna just be all about his shit."
Okay, so first of all, I just imagined a telegram starting with "Hey, remember when?" Hey, remember when? Stop. Hey.
That poor woman.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Yeah, so she basically like was like, I'm gonna say, I know that she would say that she was very proud of her work. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is a cry for help. She said that fucking shit. Like, bitch, I am here by myself. I think this makes sense. Take a look at this shit. Report.
She's trying to reach out. Look, she missed her daughter. She was trying to reach out. I know you don't fuck with me or whatever. Like she said, one of those toxic. She one of those toxic ass. Like her
future
like
text. Future text. Yes,
it's like a future carrier pigeon, like a future telegraph, a toxic telegraph, toxic telegraph.
Whatever.
whatever Western Union was sending the girls. That's what she got.
Right. Oh my God. So, hold on. Where are we?
She brings all the teachings over, and this is the basis of this personality shit.
Right. So the shit that niggas don't really suggest that you really be using in a practical sense, like to judge and categorize and box people. Like this is not really what we're trying to be about.
No, which is crazy because find out that it's actually a 1 billion, it's like a billion, not 1 billion, but $1 billion industry. They make billions of dollars a year.
So much money.
Selling this
Basically making people unemployable, or according to the fucking tests and systems and shit, like really just like marginalizing people and like really making it difficult for people to just like, I don't know, feed their kids and shit, but whatever. Is this kind of where we meet Kyle?
Yeah, so we meet Kyle Bim.
Mhm.
So Kyle, from what I could tell, to me, it seems like Kyle is also a little bit on the spectrum, but we don't get that diagnosis. Which I shouldn't, maybe not on the spectrum, but it seems like maybe Kyle is a bit neurodiverse, is a better
Yes.
term.
I think that's good, because when we talk about the people that we meet intertwining his story, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Because it's something, his mannerisms and some of the ways he talks. He's very smart, you can tell, but I think that maybe he just learns differently. But Kyle basically was an engineering student. He had to take a leave of absence from college because he was having some struggles. He finds out that he's bipolar. So he starts taking his meds, gets therapy, all the good stuff, goes back to school, finishes up this degree. So he's kind of in that space where now he's looking for a job. And in the meantime, he's like, I'm just gonna get a part-time joint, whatever. So Kyle has a friend that works at Kroger in the pharmacy. And he tells the friend, I take bipolar medications. I would like to maybe work in the pharmacy filling prescriptions or helping with customer service so that I can talk to people about their meds, in the way that I would hope somebody would discuss my meds with me. He wanted to be helpful. He wanted a part-time job. He's like, I could do that. Get me in. So the guy's like, yeah, I know you. I'll vouch for you. Goes back to his people, his managers, says this guy wants a job, vouches for him. They're like, great, cool. So they tell Kyle, hey, just go online, fill out the application,
do the paperwork,
take this test.
Don't trip, Kyle. Basically, everybody wants you here. We just you got to do the clerical stuff, basically.
Yeah, it's a formality. You still got to do the paperwork so we can pull your application. Got to take this test too. Kyle says, cool. Goes upstairs, closes the door, takes the test. Well, Kyle makes the mistake that a lot of people make when they take personality tests for jobs.
They tell the truth.
They tell the truth.
You can't tell people that niggas get on your nerves. You can't do that. You literally can't do that. Like, you have to find a way to keep all that stuff in. That's literally the only way that you can ever pass one of these things, so that you don't get red lit like Kyle did.
Yeah, so basically Kyle, it's like weeks later, Kyle doesn't hear anything back. Kyle's friend stops by and he's like, what's up with the job? And he's like, oh no, you're basically unhireable. You tested red on certain portions of the test. So the part of the test that Kyle tests red on is the part where basically they ask questions about your ability to deal with, I guess, difficult conversations or confrontation with customers. And so what happens is that Kyle is told basically that the way he answered the questions implied that he would ignore customers if he was upset or the customer was upset or if it was a confrontation that he didn't want to deal with.
Right.
Which then Kyle
obviously would not be the case if you were getting a job that you actively went to go try to get.
Right. He was like, he's like, I worked in customer service before and I didn't have any problems. But a personality test, because I answered truthfully about what basically is discrimination against his being bipolar,
right,
is like, oh, well, no, you're not going to be good at the job. But he makes a very valid point that I think a lot of people are able to do this, and you have those different types of people at work, right? He says, it's always been taught that you should be able to go to work and turn off all your personal issues and leave those at the door.
True shit.
And I know everyone has had an employer or a job or someone in their, pretty much everyone that has worked as an adult has heard that before. Leave your problems at the door. Don't bring that in here. Everyone's heard that. So if you have the ability to turn off your external problems, if anybody that has worked in customer service has left their problems at the door. Literally nobody that works in customer service with people for a full shift, day in and day out, is coming to work and feeling like they felt on that personality test. No one.
No. And if I'm irritated at work, it's because one of you motherfuckers did it. It has nothing to do with anything else happening.
Most days I don't show up here irritated. You did it. You irritated me when I got here.
Exactly.
I was like, I know a few people that come to work and they cannot function, and the stuff from their life bleeds over into work. And then they fire you for that. They fire you if the shit from outside bleeds over into work. But then they also fire you if they feel like you don't share enough of yourself at work.
Right.
And then they want to fire you. Like, it's like you said, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Literally.
Like, what the fuck did they want him to do? Like, he could have lied. I mean, and then they would have gotten there and he'd have been the perfect employee.
Perfect
Unless
employee.
he had like a bipolar episode and went off his meds, then they'd have been like, oh my God, he's like, it would have been whatever.
And like, I don't even think that would have been something that would have even happened.
And
he seemed like he didn't really strike me as a person that was like not disciplined enough to know that he needed those things to, like, you know what I'm saying, function.
Right. So then is this where we meet Lydia? We meet two other people. We meet I think her name is Carol O'Neill. She's she's an advocate for getting rid of these personalities. And then we meet Lydia X.Y Brown.
Right. I don't know. I want to know what the X stands for so bad.
The X and the Y. But maybe she's just saying she's female. No, she's male. Male? XY is male.
Okay.
XX is female.
Okay.
Maybe. I might have it backwards. I might have that shit backwards. It's been a while.
Well, I don't know. Either way, I'm interested to know why XY. Like, if it stands for something, amazing, and I need to know exactly what.
Right.
If it doesn't,
if not,
also amazing. That's super. Yeah, that's so weird. But okay, anyway. But yeah. I can't hear you.
I know someone whose first name is just two initials.
What is it?
VW.
And it don't stand for nothing?
No. I asked him when I first met him. I was like, oh, cool. What does that stand for? He was like, nothing. It's just VW.
And then he's like, his mom named Veronica and his dad named Walter?
No, he's the third one.
Well, I don't understand what this means. So, like, some nigga in like 1899 just was named VW because they didn't have time to give him a name, or they didn't know that she was pregnant. I'm so confused. Like,
and then it just
never stood for anything. It never stood for nothing.
All I could think, because there's only three of them, right? So it's only him, his dad, and his grandpa. So I'm assuming that maybe at some point it did stand for something, and then maybe somebody got lazy or forgot. Like, I don't.
What?
But it's literally three people talking about whose name is just VW. Like,
right. But like, okay. So I'm assuming that he's our age, right? The person you're talking about. So he at no point in like, I'm gonna give it up and just say Grandpa probably knew what it stood for. Like, I don't know why Dad didn't care, but like, okay, so now I'm 10. I'm about to go 7th. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go 6th grade. I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? What is my name? Like, this can't be it. Like,
it's a scam. That's a scam.
Is it supposed to make a sound? Like,
like what? I hate that for him. And there's no periods or nothing.
And it's like he's had time to change it. Like, he's had time to make up what it could stand for. I would go with my mama if you really.
V and W, just V, W, no periods. Because that's what I thought. Surely it stands for something. And then when I looked at it, and I was like, but there are no periods.
Oh, nigga, it's just next to each other.
So it doesn't stand there. That's what I knew.
Are they both?
Yeah,
are they both capitalized?
Each other, and that's how I knew. Yes.
So they're both capitalized. Like, you only capitalize things that are important. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do they stand for?
That's his name. It is important to him. Over it. I did laugh for 20 minutes and I felt so bad. I was like, my God, like, are you serious right now? And he was like, yeah, like, and I was like, so you're the third, right? There's 3 of you.
at no point you never asked the other two niggas, like, what is happening here? Like,
no, and then so then I felt bad, like it was uncouth to like keep asking because I was just like, what the fuck? Like I was so confused. And in my mind, before it ever like crossed my mind that maybe it was fucked up, I was like, so why wouldn't you just tell people to call you Trey or something? Like you're the
Like,
third. Why wouldn't you
she said,
tell people to call you Trey?
That's so creative because I wouldn't even thought of that. I would have just been I would have just had a notebook, nigga, just full of like shit it can stand for. So I came across the right one.
Call
And
me
worst
third.
thing-
Don't call me third. Don't call me.
Call me Trey, nigga. Yeah,
Call
that's
me
it.
Trey.
Just call me Trey.
Third. Don't call
That's-
me. I wouldn't even tell nobody that was my name.
I just think I might have even like if niggas asked me what I wanted for my 18th birthday, I might have even asked for a name change. Let me get an opportunity to start fresh here.
What do you want
I don't
for
think anybody knows what's happening.
You have your 18th birthday for my name to mean something.
That's it. Like, so I can go out into the world. Like, so people be like, "Oh, what's your name?" I can like say it confidently because you can't say your name is that, and then you know that the follow-up question is going to be like, "Oh, what's that stand for?" Because we don't live in Mad Max apocalypse yet. You don't just be named like just letters and like symbols and stuff yet. Like that's not where we are. Like,
oh my God, bless him. Bless you, sir, wherever you are. I haven't talked to you.
Sir, and I really
shout
hope
out
you think
to you.
about that name change because I know you can afford it by yourself now. You don't need your parents. Like, I know you got it. Like, so
You
just
got it.
think about that. Look, like we're about to get out of this. We're about to get out of the pandemic. Like, here's an opportunity to like start your life over. Like let's get that online application started. Like,
Well, no,
call
he's
me.
in the
I'll try to
military.
help here.
He's
Well,
in the
that
military.
works. Then that works because they always be like going by last names anyway.
Yeah, just call yourself by your last name. He'll be fine.
See, and oh my God. So he's in the military. I feel like it's even more so people are going to be asking him what that stands for. Because now it looks like it's like a title or some shit. Like,
Like a lieutenant in
Yeah.
LT. It's like BW.
nigga, I'm just saying.
Like what is I never heard of that rank. What do you
like
do?
valor, it's something like top level is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, should I bow, my nigga? Like, should I be bowing right now? Like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do in the presence of a woman. Like, I don't know.
Oh, Lord, I'm about to spit on myself. Okay, Lydia XY. Maybe it stands for something brown.
Maybe it don't.
She was she was a sweet angel baby because she said all the shit that didn't nobody want to say. The white people was being very dancey around. They had a lot of hateration and holleration in the dancery.
All in it.
Yeah, and Lydia was like, no. So my favorite quote from Lydia was "fuck that, hell no." Like Lydia had, she came.
Oh, they doing what?
Yeah, Lydia came locked and loaded to tell us about it.
Truthfully.
So Lydia, she tells us she's on the spectrum, or neurodiverse, and she says basically that she was applying for jobs in high school, and her friends are like crowded around the computer monitor, and they're like, "Well, how do you answer these? Like, what?" What do I say to get a job? And then she didn't get any jobs. And then she didn't get no jobs.
Like, that was it. And that's the end of her story. Like, I mean, until she fucking was like, wait a fucking minute. Like,
yeah, I mean, she's talking about some other things. Basically, she just says that these, tests are inherently ableist and racist and classist and sexist because they're made by white people who live a life of leisure, who don't know shit about anybody else's life or customs. And now we're using that as the baseline for everybody's personality. And that's wildly shitty. We could wrap that shit right on up. But there's more.
Yeah, there is, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh my God.
Before we meet the people running the Hope Center, Do It for Little Saint program.
Not do it for Little Saint program. No, not the
they're doing a lovely thing.
Not the hardball project. Like no.
Yeah, they love it when you call them their papa. Yeah.
Nigga, you gotta do more than fucking dance in the rain for Lil Saint. Then you gotta help this nigga fill out a resume and get a job and shit.
Listen, okay, so it's this white guy whose name I don't get, and then a black guy that looks like a chicken nugget, Jamal Eggleston. And then I was like, oh, he looks like a brown egg, so I get that Eggleston.
I don't think that's how people name babies.
Oh yeah, if it was, then a lot of these people wouldn't be out here being there are a lot of people being out here like Decepticons. Like they mom and daddy knew what was up and named them something nice at the smoke screen. So I'm glad that's not how people name babies, but it kind of is because it kind of is.
It might be.
But Jamal with 2 A's is here to tell us about how he basically they have like a job center in Brooklyn, and they are helping people in the community hone and cultivate the skills necessary to get a job.
And unfortunately, one of those skills is learning how to fucking trick yourself to trick personality tests, to get them to believe that you're answering favorably in the way that they will want you to answer, and not that you would answer like a human being. Because if you guys even taken that test, and you know what's so fucking crazy about those tests is that, have you noticed how often the same question is posed again and again
just in
and
different
again
ways
and again, just in different words, different ways, or using synonyms of words to fucking, again, while you mentioned classist and racist. So you're using all these like big old words to just say this to somebody who's not as educated, you know what I'm saying? And doesn't really use that fucking word on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? Or hear it on a regular basis, for fucking crying out loud. And now they don't really know how to answer it because they don't understand what you're asking, because it couldn't be that because you already asked me that 5 fucking other times.
That, and then I think it's also that on top of the fact that a lot of times when you are taking these tests, like the things that they are asking, like I think it's subjective, right? Like I could read it one way and be like, okay, yeah, I would never, and then somebody else could read it and be like, what the fuck are they asking? Like, and so I think it's also one of those things where like I have to view it from the viewpoint of the person who is administering questions in order for it to make sense to me, because otherwise culturally it may not make sense, because you saying I don't, you know, which cultures are not horribly different, but everybody views things differently, and it may just be a custom or whatever that makes you feel differently about a question than somebody else would. Like I know some people that feel like if you go to work, your work should be your own and you should be proud of it. And then you have some people that they want you to be all about a part of the team. And depending on how you were raised or the work culture you have been in, you may favor working by yourself over team. I worked places where I was the team. So
nigga, the whole nigga.
So when you
the
work
record label, the establishment, all of it.
When you work that way for 2 or 3 years,
bye, girl. But listen, and that's one specifically about like how well you would work in a team setting. But like, and then half of the time, some of the jobs that ask you these questions, you're not ever even gonna really work in a team setting. And so they're asking you these questions again, where they're not really asking you about your job. They're asking
your ability to do it. They're just making sure that if you had to work on a team, you won't, I guess, be upset about. I don't ever get the purpose of that type of stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we meet LaShawn. That's one of the people at the Hope Do It for Lil Saint program, and he just got out of jail and he's looking for a job.
That's me dancing in the rain for a Lil Saint.
Yeah, he just. We know we can't go nowhere. We're sorry. That's okay, Otto. When I finally do get to hang out with you, we're gonna go out to eat while we waiting in the line. I'm gonna do it for a little say all around you. Go be ready.
So, but basically, what they're doing at the place is just like we said, like helping these people to get out of the mindset of being, I mean, essentially what? Super fucking truthful. Like, that's literally the best way that I could put it.
That, and I think like teaching them like what parts of it are trick. Like, I know it sounds horrible. Like he pointed out, they had like they did like a fake test basically, and then pulled questions and looked at the answers to help them. And one of the ones was, I can't recall a time in the past 5 years that I've lied. And a lot of them said they agreed. And so they were like, well, no, you don't want to say that because that's a lie inherently in itself. Like you said, even if it was a small lie, you lied. So you're supposed to just say you lied.
Exactly. Because like, there's no way. And again, because these questions are so subjective, am I answering this about I've never lied at work? I've never lied in general. Like, I've definitely lied to somebody in the past 7 years. Like, and like, again, like just super subjective to understanding like how to really answer that. And again, like you said, in this case, if we're thinking about the person that's administering the test, obviously I don't want to tell them that I've lied about stuff, but then they take the answer and they're like, oh, this nigga's obviously lying because everybody's lied in the last 7 years. Like,
yeah,
trash. So
but
trash.
It's interesting because again, it's just but it's weird because right, they're asking you this, and then even if you did lie, there's no place where you can then explain what it is that you lied about. So
there's no why did you say that, or what exactly did you lie about? Exactly.
Yeah, the only
it doesn't say at work when have you lied in the last. It doesn't even, like, again, it's just so general, and people get nervous like taking things like that.
Like, the only time you get to explain yourself on the only time on the test, on the application where you get to explain yourself is if you have a felony. Then you get to tell them all about that, but nothing else. Nothing important, just about your felony.
That's it.
So then we find out that basically, like, Kathleen and Isabel are to blame for monetizing this. Isabel is Isabel. But Kathleen was certainly more of like I just want people to figure out what their purpose is and find the thing they're supposed to do in life. Like, that is her thing. She's thinking
your perfect thing. Like, that thing that you're going to wake up and fucking birds are going to be outside chirping and shit. Like, oh, it's time for me to be a barista or whatever fuck, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do when you grow up. Like,
I'm about to go weave baskets underwater. Ready. Get my story.
Right now. I'm about to go be a princess. Like, you feel me? Like, whatever it is that you want to be, like, that's what the mom wanted for this. But it just really ended up being like fucking, like you said, marginalizing people and deciding that these people are people you don't want to work with, and only these people are the people that you want in your high level places like CEOs and shit like that. And it back then, while Isabel was concocting this, it ended up just being white men.
Yeah, just a bunch of white men. And then what we find out is that when they originally made the test, they had a separate test for women and men because they felt like you couldn't scale women the same because women were always going to be higher on the feeling spectrum. And that's and I don't be feeling nothing for nobody. So that is
like
incorrect.
Truthfully, like,
do not feel anything about anybody.
I can take the man test. Like, I can take the man test. Like, and I just think that's so ridiculous because, again, like, are we helping people to find their best selves, or are we being sexist? Like, what is it? Like,
you might have your period might make you feel too much, so you can't take this test. Like,
just skip the last page because you wouldn't be able to handle those questions emotionally. Like, what?
Kind of shit.
And it should, like, have you ever stolen anything
a Snickers bar
from work? Like,
what the fuck? So then they said that they started using them to, like, go to hospitals and make sure the nurses were going to be good nurses. And it's like, well, a good nurse is somebody that doesn't kill people. Like, I
that
don't.
went to school, that knows what she's doing and does that job.
She administering the medications correctly and checking on the patients. Like, what the fuck else do you need her to do? Like, I don't
find out if she saw $500 on the ground, if she would try to find the owner, or if she would take it and buy Fashion Nova. Like,
does the sound of babies crying upset her? Is she going to go to the baby or walk by?
When people are yelling, do you think of other things?
If a fire truck is outside, is she gonna stop her shift to go follow it? Like, what the fuck?
Right? What the fuck was that question? There was a question where it was like, if you were like on your way to work or some shit, and you saw a fire truck going past, would you continue about your day, or would you go follow it? Like, what am I, a dog?
Yeah,
what am I, Dalmatian? Like, I don't understand why I would be following
the fire truck to the fire and or emergency, because it may not.
What am I gonna do?
Because literally 1 time out of 3, it's an actual fire, and the rest of the time it's somebody who's like high on meth and needs to be transported to the hospital because they're like, most of the time it's not even a fucking fire. So you're gonna stop going to work, and then when you show up late, you're gonna be like, I followed a fire truck and they went to go get somebody whose head was stuck in the washing machine. Like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Follow it for what? What when I get there, then what? Like, I need to just like process the like.
How this plays out. And you just sit in your
I gotta see if they need me for anything. Like,
because you gotta
sit in your car. Like, you need me to take somebody to the hospital? Like,
all you can do is sit in your fucking car and watch from across the street, or sit on the hood of your car and watch. Like,
sir, I'm actually gonna block off this whole street, so I need you to get the fuck. Like,
you don't live here? Why are you here? Oh, I followed you guys over here. What's up? You're like,
oh, now I'm calling 911 on dispatch.
Yeah, can we get somebody for him?
Now I need a cop.
Get somebody for him. Like, what kind of shit?
Sir, how many fingers am I holding up? Like, karaoke.
So,
but yes, that was one of the original questions. Though.
So then we find out that on top of all of that, like, they basically, because obviously these people are dead, right? Kathleen, I don't know if we need to. They're dead, so
they're dead as fuck, you guys. So yeah. Now we're talking to like their grandkids and shit.
Yeah, if that wasn't apparent. So basically we have all these great value Myers-Briggs shits. They got a big 5 personality test. It's people saying that they can sell you the Myers-Briggs test. And it's this one unicorn.
Wait. Stop saying stuff. Wait, hold on. Did you keep saying? Wait, now I fucking lost it. Unicrew. Okay, yeah.
So
unicorn.
I don't know, uniform, whatever. So basically Unicrew is a company that is marketing these tests, but what they're doing is running a scam essentially, because they are telling everybody that purchases the test from them, oh, we specially crafted this test to pick the kind of people that you need and want at your company. And really they're just kind of giving them all the same shit. Like,
white men need to be your CEOs. Like, people that don't look like us don't really need to be you don't really want them to work here. Because what if they say they'll cause a fuss?
Yeah.
Because they'll cause a fuss, so you ain't trying to have fusses at your job. So don't hire these niggas that answer like this. Hire these niggas that answer like this. Like, and there you go.
So what we find out is basically these tests will, even though that is not their intended purpose, the way that they are worded and the questions, which we sit with Lydia again, and she says the same thing, even if they are saying that they are not discriminatory, they are. And like as lawyer points out, in America, you can't do that. Like, that's against the law. So even if a person has a disability, you can't pre-screen them for a disability. They would have to get the job, disclose they have the disability, and if you cannot accommodate them, then you are able to say, well, hey, this is not going to work out. We're going to have to offer the job to somebody else. But you can't pre-screen people for disabilities. Like, that is so. That is what's happening. They're pre-screening these people, and what happens is that because of the way these questions are worded and the answer scales, it sometimes is able to predict people that may have mental health challenges, or people that are neurodiverse, or people that have disabilities, which is something that it's not supposed to be doing, but it weeds those candidates out. So the black lady who's a lawyer, I can't remember her name, I didn't write it down, but she basically makes a very valid point. she says that what happens is that they basically create a grouping of people that are basically unhireable or unemployable because they keep failing these personality tests, which means the gap on their resume continually gets bigger. And then when you go to apply again, now it looks like you haven't, where you might have been out of work for 3 weeks. Now you've been out of work for fucking 6 months. And so the bigger that gap is, the less desirable you are to employers. So they are just kind of weeding these people out based on things that they probably shouldn't be screening for in the first place. But
in the fucking first place,
all the girls are doing it. Macy's, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's,
everybody.
AT&T. Hi, talking to you guys. Sprint. I know PetSmart did it. Yeah, I can name a lot of people. We keep going, but
yeah,
I'm gonna let y'all have it. But y'all are all guilty.
Culprits.
Yep. And I want to point out that we talked to a bunch of white men who were the ones administering these tests. All these people were white. I just want to point that out.
Every single one of them that were defending the tests, all of that, they were white men.
So do we want to talk
about Isabel's
being a racist?
Bitch, is that what you're about to say? Yeah. You're being you.
Gotta give him the Whitney,
I know, right? Okay, guys. So, Isabel wrote a couple books. This is like the 20s. One was good. I think you can find it pretty easily if you search for it. The second one, however, is a little bit harder to find. Why? Let's see. So it's called Give Me Death. Now, so it's important to know her genre because I want to make sure that I'm categorizing her right. It's a detective book. She writes detective stories,
she
right?
herself to be an Agatha Christie.
Yes. So think Agatha Christie.
And then
it goes very left. So she has this book, the second book, and you're like, okay, detective book. Why the fuck is it so hard to find? Well, it's the detective is investigating the suicides that are happening in this one family, right? And I don't know how long this book is, but basically by the end of it, niggas know that they are committing suicide because this family believes that they have, I almost fainted, one drop of African blood. In the whole family, there's one drop
of black blood
in their family, and the whole family was just individually committing suicide, and people thought that they were like, I don't know what they thought. I don't know if they thought they were haunted. I don't know what they thought. But that was the big reveal at the end of the fucking book. Not that it was Mr. Jenkins. Not that it was Mr. Jenkins when they took the fucking veil off. It was just revealed that at some point somebody had a drop of blood that was black. And so the whole family was just killing themselves.
No, I wouldn't with the wrench in the conservatory. One drop.
Look at me, guys.
Person.
Guys, look at me in the eye. I need y'all to look at me. I wouldn't lie to y'all. I wouldn't lie to you guys. Listen.
So how far back in your family do you have to go to get one drop of black blood?
One drop. So by the time y'all figured it out, that shit was basically gone.
It had to be gone. How far? Do you know how many generations you have to remove to be down to a drop? And then
down to just one drop.
And then my whole thing is
I don't know, Jay.
At some point, the drop has to be run out, right? Because you're talking about the family that is living is killing themselves, is what they're talking about. So that's like the grandpa, the auntie, maybe the mama, and like a kid or a cousin or something. So that's like 3 different generations. Like the drop ought to be gone by now. By the time we get to the grandkids, whoever called the detective should be pure white.
The person calling for help
white
doesn't even have to be concerned.
Like
listen,
was like, this shit is fucked up. You gotta come see what's going on with my people. It don't even concern them. Like that.
I almost need to know more about it. Like I almost want to like be able to like read it so I can figure out how we got here. Like
it's a big ass leap. We go from possible murder plot against one family to suicides, maybe like a haunting and needing to be exorcised to
big reveal. Oh shit, at some point somebody
300 years ago, somebody had sex with a black person one time.
And so now there's like one drop floating around somewhere and we got to just be able to eradicate it because nigga, is this you,
like
you don't want to fucking read the rest of this like to see how the fuck the detective figured out that there was one drop of blood left in their fucking family lineage. You don't want to find out what clues he had to gather to figure out that there was one drop of black blood in their body. Is that what you're like? I need.
What was this lady's name? Merve. She said it was hard to find, and so I don't know.
Give me death.
Well, I'm gonna try to find it.
Give me death because it's one drop of fucking fabulous black blood floating around in your body.
How Confederate of them! Like, of course, it's the South. How fucking so Confederate
on trend. So on trend.
Like, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but honestly, like that feels correct. Like,
and the issue, guys, is that this person is the one who created these tests that are keeping some people out of the workforce.
You don't seem like you're a good typist. I know you've been a nurse for 15 years, but you're not a good nurse.
I just feel like you would do a lot better in a warehouse, girl. Put that
put that
vaccine down.
Do you know how fucked up that's gotta be?
Go over here where we pay you the least and we can keep you out the sun, girl. Want that beautiful.
You know how fucked up that would have to be? Like, you're a tradesperson, you've been doing your job for fucking 20 or 30 years, you got your pension built up, and then they bring this white bitch in there and she's like,
hey, can you come in the room with me? I want to like ask you some questions. and
then after she gets done, she goes and does that shit and she's like whispering to your supervisor and is like, I just don't think he's gonna work out long term. And I know that he works in accounting right now, but I think he should be the mail clerk. I feel like that is his call.
And he been doing this shit. Like, how do you have somebody come in and test the nigga that's been doing his job already to
just
like
fine? Like, you don't even have any complaints with these people. You are just bringing
you like his personality just fine.
You don't even dislike these people, and you brought somebody in to tell you that no, you don't need to be doing this. I know you've been doing it for 30 years and you have all the accolades that the department gives out. Doesn't matter.
I think you should go try to work a hot dog on the stick.
You should go sell corn dogs. It's in the car.
You should be an elote man. Like, that's what you should do instead. Like, that's basically like, oh my God.
Telling the white guys that work on the warehouse floor putting together the fucking Ford Model
T. The CEO.
You should be the manager. Why are you not managing? Why are you putting the doors on the trucks?
Everything that I just wrote down here says that like you should be doing that stuff. So I'm gonna go talk to them and like see what they.
And that's what happened to that girl that wrote the book, the personality broker. She got tested. They told her she had a CEO mentality, and Miss Mama was like, "I'm gonna tell you, I didn't like that job. I didn't want to be there. I was reading books.
I was terrible at it."
She just was honest. Like, that was not for me. And people, she was like, I really bought in, was trying to live up to it, and it just was not working.
Like, literally, it worked. It was so opposite of like her actuality that is the whole reason that she went down this rabbit hole.
She was like, how did we get here?
Like, it doesn't make sense.
We get here because Isabella's a racist and ableist and a sexist and a classist and a lot of things. All that things. Implicit bias that they like to talk to us about. So next time somebody tells you they have implicit bias training, you just take that with a grain of salt because it probably
means nothing.
Nothing. So the guy who's defending from Unicrew, he was like,
Mhm.
well, why would you want somebody to have a job that they hate? And I was like, bitch, everyone has a job that they hate. What the fuck are you talking about? People need money. Shit is not fucking free. You think I love going? What the fuck? Like, what are you even fucking talking about? Like, what? Like,
And it's just
sir, were you not alive in 2008? A bunch of us graduated with a mountain of debt, and there wasn't a job to be fucking had any fucking way. We were all underemployed. Every single one of us. We had thousands of dollars in debt. We were all underemployed. I knew people with master's degrees sacking fucking groceries. You think they want to go fucking sack groceries and they owe $100,000 to the U.S. government? That part infuriated me. Like, I hope that man falls down a fucking flight of stairs. Like, fuck you, sir.
And he was basically indicating that what he was doing was helping people find their dream jobs. These are not people's dream jobs at the places that are like really utilizing these things.
Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's and Macy's are not anybody's fucking dream job. Nobody's like, oh, I want to work at the lingerie counter at Macy's. Oh my God.
There's nothing else I want to do but accost people with perfumes at the door.
How did you know? I have wanted to be on Fry's since I was 4 years old. You are giving me my dream.
Like Fry's, like I have dreams of salting them. Like I cannot. Thank you for giving me everything I need right now with this
nuggets on the nuggets. So ready. Like that's so dumb. Like it's like his justification for this is very stupid. People take jobs every day. People take jobs every day they do not like. People go to work at jobs they enjoy for the most part, but have shitty coworkers that they hate and make the job unbearable and they don't want to go. There's any combination at any time in America that most of the working population does not love their job and is not running to get there every single day, you know, feeling amazing about going to work. Like the truth of it is, if we didn't have to work, we fucking wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
So it's just an oxymoron and preposterous to even sit there with a straight face and insult every fucking body watching that by saying that your test is making sure that people just go to jobs that they don't hate and that they're really made for the job. People need money to live. I don't have to like my job to be good at it. There are a lot of people that are I'm very good at sales. I did it for a very long time. I would never go get another sales job unless I absolutely had to. Like if it was the last thing available, maybe. But I got burned out. I hated sales after that. But I was very good at it. So it's not an indication of anything.
Exactly.
Good God. So then, Lord, then it got sad.
Like the rest of it just got real fucking sad. And then we get like.
So we're back with Kyle. Kyle, who didn't get the job at Kroger. Kyle's dad, Roland, is a lawyer. So basically, Kyle was very upset by this to the point to where.
I'm sorry, before we really get into the sad part, I forgot something to mention. Kyle was a very lucky person, like in the way that he was able to understand what was happening. Because his dad's a lawyer and he had a friend that told him that he was fucking red lit. Like people don't usually know that happens to them. So
right. Like, so you just have people that say, I keep applying for jobs and nobody ever calls me back.
Right.
They don't know what the reason is. But I also have, and so like Lydia said, she has the sneaking suspicion, like she said, when she never got any of those job calls, that she failed the personality test. And that's why they didn't invite her on. And she's like, and even if it's not that you did poorly, it could be, well, you seem a little weird or a little quirky, and we don't think you're a good fit because of the way you answered these questions. So like she said, so the lady who did the TED Talk is the one that tells us that Kyle is an exceptional case because he does have these resources to kind of help his case along to where he can fight back, but he also had the ability to have some insider knowledge that the rest of us don't have if we don't get a job.
Right. Yeah. So,
which is remarkable that his friend even told him
true story.
Because I thought that was interesting that his friend told him, oh no, man, they red lit you. Because the way I understood it, the friend worked there, but the friend was not in management. So it was odd that management would share with
tell them that.
So, right. Tell him that that's the reason that they didn't hire his friend. Like that. I thought that was odd, but whatever. I guess it's good or bad, however you want to look at it. But
Yeah.
so it's kind of the catalyst. Roland is Kyle's dad, and he just basically is a lawyer. And he says that Kyle basically was like really fucked up about this whole situation and was like, well, am I broken? Is there something wrong with me? And, his dad was, in dad or mom fashion was like, fuck no, you're just fine. We finna figure what the fuck out, figure this shit the fuck out. So,
I'm
like,
gonna tear all
no,
this shit down.
yeah, it was like, I knock all this shit over in here. What the fuck what you think?
I
They told you
will.
did what? And he said Roland took it and ran with it. We don't meet the mom, but Roland was here to tell y'all not gonna fuck with my kid. So they start the good fight, but unfortunately they find Kyle in the house. They haven't heard from him in a few days. They pull up to check on him, and Kyle has died by suicide.
Yep.
So they don't really get into like why, but again, maybe he was having some mental health struggles, so this maybe compounded them. They don't really speak about the why too much, but Kyle is not with us. But the interesting thing about this documentary is that Kyle is with us through a good portion.
And that's I fucking hate when documentaries do that, because I don't like to be sad and shit. And so like we're like talking to him and talking with him like through the whole time, you know what I'm saying? And then at this kind of ending of the documentary, like we find out
when we meet
time.
Roland. Right. Yeah. We don't meet his dad till pretty far in. And that's when we kind of the switches from talking to Kyle to his dad.
Talking to Roland.
Yeah. So they did a very good job. And I think maybe what happened is kind of in the process of this is when he committed suicide and the documentary wasn't done. So then they had to kind of figure out what to put in to kind of finish things up. So it makes sense in that context, but I thought it was interesting. So we kind of sit with another white man who works for a company called HireVue.
Nigga, if this is not the most fucking
y'all, it's so bad.
Bitch. Like I literally oh my god. Like it makes me like I get like anxious like just thinking about this, because I can't even fucking believe that this is like a thing. He works for this place called HireVue, right?
Yeah. So HireVue basically, they use video detection and like facial algorithm software, and they use your gestures and your facial expressions and the inflection of your voice when you're saying stuff to predict indicators of how successful you would be at doing a job. Basically, they're recording you and then sending this footage over to potential job prospects, and basically being like, oh, we don't think that person would be a good fit because when we asked them this, they turned their eyes to the left, and that means they're lying or whatever.
What if it's just that white people make me uncomfortable and I just needed to look away for a second to realize that I was in a safe space?
Or some people just speak monotonely, and it doesn't mean that they are less excited or like what. And some things are more exciting than others. Do you like your boss? Yeah, I like my boss. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God, she's the best part. Like,
she's amazing.
Like what exactly? Yeah, and that's what they said. And also, again, differences in culture. What may signify one thing for you may not signify the same thing for other cultures. So,
and some cultures are like more like fucking like aggressive like than we are. Like some of us can be kind of aggressive in the way that we talk and things, but like fucking like Germans or fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like they are like they speak like they're fucking pissed off at you. Like so like
so it's just I thought that was interesting. And that's when Miss XY was back with us, Miss Lydia XY Brown was back with us. And she was just like, what the fuck? Lydia was like, what the fuck? And I felt her. I felt that in my spirit. What the fuck?
Lydia is very much the voice of the people for me in the documentary. Like, because it's just like, so basically, not only are you giving me these tests that are fucking really more so like trying to peer into like my personal self instead of like if I'm qualified to actually do the job that I'm like, you know, signed like applying for or whatever. But like now, while I'm answering these condescending ass fuck questions, now you have a camera and you're analyzing the way that I'm like my facial expressions as I'm reading the questions or as you're asking the questions if it's a video like interview. And there's something so fucking Skynet about that to me. It just does not sit well with my soul.
Yeah, it's very Big Brother, very Skynet, very like Minority Report. Like it's something, like it's a lot. Like I don't.
And anything that has anything that makes me feel like Tom Cruise might have something to do with it, it makes me feel very uncomfortable. I don't.
Yeah, it's very Vanilla Sky. Very bad. All of it's
bad. Beautiful gowns.
Yeah, it's beautiful gowns. Exactly. Beautiful gowns, beautiful interface, but we're not trying to use any of that. That's horrible.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, I just
it makes me. That's so scary.
Like, and she's not even like, honestly, like she's being dramatic, but like not really, because that shit is fucked up. Like it really is fucked up. Like, and the implications for like brown people and black people are horrible when you think about it, because they already use this AI and facial recognition and don't have that shit correct. It already is fucked up when it comes to us and the bias that is already put into like these IT and tech programs. So now you want to use it to further discriminate against us in hiring, like that.
Just keep us out. Just keep us out of the workforce altogether, possibly.
They're trying, because when you think about it, they haven't even been able to successfully make automated hand soap or paper towel dispensers that you don't have to.
Because I'm like,
do this with, and that's because it's
honestly, I think those things are racist as fuck.
And that's because it's built with white hands. It's tested with white people, and that's why they do. So if you've ever wondered why it doesn't work for you, it is built into the software.
You're black. It's because you're black.
Because you're black. It legitimately, it's not us being funny. It is because you're black.
It is literally because you're black.
It's
I feel like that. I low-key feel like just because of how outraged I am about this, we need to be doing that other documentary next. But we'll talk to Perros about it. See what happens.
Yeah, that's insanity. I've never. He just sat there confidently with a straight face, like, and he was like, "Yeah, we're just giving people the tools to pick the best candidates, and I can and however people are using it, like it's just a tool. It's not meant to discriminate." Like, and of course that's what you have to say, because that's what your fucking legal team told you to say.
I was just gonna say he stayed very like legal team friendly with the things that he was saying, and basically also making sure that that regardless of how outraged we feel about the things that he's saying to us, that legally, what you gonna like, you can't check him, boo, is basically what he's saying. The people that are buying us, or buying our software, buying our fucking resources, like they are okay with this, and so basically, yeah,
like it's illegal or whatever, but that's not my business, because I didn't tell
my business, because they know what it is, so they see it,
and they see the vision, and I don't have to sit here and talk about it because my lawyers advise me not to. So you do what you want with that information, but they gonna use it, and if you want a job, you gonna let them. Like
basically
what he was on, like.
Bitch, I'm not prepared for this kind of life.
I hope he falls down the stairs. They could both go together, roll together. Leave that dog he had in his office an orphan. Fuck both of you.
You said leave him an orphan.
Leave him an orphan. Fuck you. And the dog. God. I don't want to say fuck the dog because he was black and it's not his fault. Like he had his little black dog, his little black terrier, little Scottish terrier. We wouldn't have Scottish because he's pretty big, but he had his little black terrier looking ass dog in there. And I didn't want to say fuck the dog. It's not the dog's fault. He got him sitting in the office looking at personality tests. Like,
I mean, listen.
He just there. Like, he's just there so he don't get fined and to have treats. That's not the dog's fault.
It's not. But, I mean, this is basically the end. We just kind of hear what Lydia fucking go off on this shit, and how she also hates this shit as much as we do. And how people are being marginalized and being, and the classism and the sexism and the racism and the ableism and all the isms.
All the isms were present. Roland Bim, he gets because let's be honest, Roland is white and has some pull. But good for Roland for using that pull to do something. So Roland basically gets a meeting with his Congress people or whatnot, and goes to Washington D.C. tell them all about how personality tests killed his son. So good for Roland. So I hope something comes from that. Usually it doesn't, because
they don't be caring. So
Well, and then lobbyists and corporations and business contributions to campaigns.
And so they don't be caring.
They, if yeah, if we could get like a coalition of Black people together and donate $1 million to one of these senators' campaign, like that's the way we would have to get something done.
Literally, that's it.
Like we
Exactly.
literally would have to create like a super PAC and be like, we want these things, and if you do them, we have like $5 million for you. And there's more where that came from if you can get these things done. Like that's really the only way. Like we can't just vote for these bitches because they say that they're gonna do some shit for Black people. We're gonna have to start pulling resources together and coming with the big money, because that's the only way you get anything done up there.
True shit.
So
instead of giving it to these Forex niggas, y'all need to be trying to build it and give it to your congressman and make some changes.
Forex, oh God. Not giving it to Forex, like wait a minute. So they're not even doing that little table shit no more where you gotta do the little they're not even doing a little diagram where you gotta get to the center with the 8 people on the ladder. They just give it to Forex. Okay. I learned some new shit today. So we're not on the diagram no more. We're not doing the diagram.
No. Okay. Yep, you just give it straight to them.
So I just give it to wait. So if I get the money, I want to know what happened.
I don't know.
Give the Forex people my money.
You just gonna be broke. You're gonna not have that money no more.
Nothing happens. Like, do I join Forex if I give them the money? Like, is it like Herbalife?
Yes. Yes, like, and then you become a Forex person, and then you have to like lure other Forex people.
So it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yes, everything is like.
No, it's a Ponzi scheme like Avon. No.
Yeah, basically it's all the same. Like, give me your money, and then you gotta get some people to give you some money now.
So Herbalife / Vector Knives / Forex.
Yes, all these.
Okay.
Things.
Okay. So now I know what to do. Now I know what scam to run. I'm ready.
Oh my God, I'm ready. But yeah, guys, that's really. I mean, that's basically
the end of it.
Yeah.
They just kind of talk about how she's fucked up.
I know. Okay, I know.
Well, okay, Arjun. Well, then I'll be sure to tweet you so you can tell me how Forex works, because I need to know. You finna explain it to me, because the way I hear it is that the people be taking your money and then you got to pay them to join group, and you get in the group and they're supposed to tell you how to use Forex, and then they don't ever really tell you.
Yep.
And then they tell you what you need to do is get other people to pay money to join the group, and then they'll
look at it, and then
So then don't nobody make any money but the person selling the Forex. That's what they had told me. So I think I'm gonna get into Herbalife, and at least I have like a product.
Right. Like
Forex sounds imaginary like Bitcoin, and it's very hard to get somebody to buy into some imaginary shit. So
yeah. Oh, speaking of Bitcoin, my Cash App card, you can put Boost on them, and I've totally been getting Bitcoin from going to fucking Dutch Bros. So coffee place. I'm very excited.
I like that.
I have like $2 in Bitcoin, and I don't want anybody to talk to me. So
I got 10. Well, how was it? No, Megan Thee Stallion was giving out Bitcoin at one point or whatever.
I know. She didn't fucking give me any fucking Yo, Bigfoot bitch. I'm just joking.
She gave me some. It was very exciting. I got some Bitcoin from Megan Thee Stallion. So also don't talk to me. Talk to me now.
Also, listen, because she got fucking stallion coins. Okay,
I got stallion coins. I don't even think I got some scam. Everything is a scam. Life is a scam, girl. I wait for them to come out in 2 years and be like, you gotta pay to breathe air. I'm waiting this coming. We're gonna be paying to breathe here in 5 years. They're gonna be like, oxygen ain't free.
Oh, you got some stallion coins too? Y'all gonna have to send me some stallion coins. I don't feel right that I didn't get any. Like, cause I feel like I tweeted her like at the right time and everything. Like, Megan, if you're watching this, girl, because I'm sure you are.
Well, she said she was taking a break, so she's recharging.
I saw her little fucking her little fucking MIB fucking little
Like,
message.
yeah, that was
recharging.
she's recharging.
Autumn
So
needs some fucking stallion coins.
we need
and
stallion coins.
We need stallion coins.
We're trying to. I'm
Hell.
fully vaccinated. I'm trying to have a hot girl summer in
Yeah,
which I just get drunk and sleep at noon. But
hey, everybody is subject. Hot girl summer is suggested. I mean, it's suggested. What am I trying to say? Subjective. That's what I'm trying to say.
it's subjective, like these tests. That's the point. It's all subjective. It's all subjective, and it's all a scam.
We need some stallion coins. Okay, but yeah, guys. So anyway, I mean, that's it. Did we miss anything? I really don't think we did.
No, we didn't miss
the LaShawn from the Little Saint, Do It for Little Saint Foundation got a job at the end. So
he did.
Dope. And it was like a good job. Like he was like a super, like in a building. Like,
but also I feel like he didn't. But then I kept thinking to myself, did he have to take that personality test for that? I don't think he had to take no personality test for that.
I don't think he did either. Like, I don't think supers need personality.
Like I was very happy for him, and I'm glad he got a job. But I also feel like he could have been a super in a building, like
anyway,
without going to like the look like the whole Little Saint Center.
Listen. The Little Saint Foundation brought him to tears for the things that they was bringing him. Like, don't do that.
Like, I don't want to downplay the importance of what they are giving the community, but I feel like he could have gotten that job without Do It for Little Saint Community Center. I'm just saying, I feel like, I mean, because I'm just saying, everybody else came in there kind of whatever, and he used to come in there with his little pullover, with his tie, his freshly braided braids. Like, he came dressed for success every day, so it was gonna break for him regardless. Like, he was gonna get something. He came ready. Now, they did give him some computer skills because he said he had good IBM with the floppy disk in jail. So,
good night, guys. This is
all docked up.
I'm Chris. That's VJ. Penrose is here in spirit. He'll be back next time. Guys, HBO Max is called Persona: The Dark Truth About Reality or Personality Tests are fucked up. That's what it's called, and it's on HBO
and do
Max.
It for Little Saint.
Like you got
to do it for Little Saint.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.